Hey, it's King McKay. Now, one of the characters I really wish we got more of in Season 6 was the Septon Ray character. His entire character, the message he stood for, the themes around him, and the whole story arc was made very well to reflect the show's message and theme. I almost see Septon Ray as this embodiment of what George R. R. Martin himself would be in the Game of Thrones universe. So I thought the best way to look at this character, his messages, the themes around him, and why he's there, would be to do a scene breakdown.
I was a soldier once. All my superiors thought I was brave. I wasn't. I mean, I never ran from a fight. Only because I was afraid my friends would see I was afraid. That's all I was, a coward. Who followed orders. No matter the orders. Burn that village? Fine. I'm your arsonist. Steal that farmer's crops? Good. I'm your thief. Kill those young lads so they won't take up arms against us. I'm your murderer.
Now, the reason I chose this scene was because it was a very accurate representation of the peasant life, the soldier's life, and the people who we don't normally get a view of because we're looking at the noble lords and so on. So Septon Ray explains to us, the viewers, the motivations and the mindsets of soldiers who follow people like the Mountain. We get to see that these people who can be really passionate and nice and caring and who have really good thoughts and aren't just straight up terrible people do these terrible things because of the scenario they're put into, because of the peer pressures of their society and what's expected of them. George R. R. Martin in his books always believes that the act of war brings out the worst in people. We know this because George R. R. Martin himself was a conscientious objector to the War of Vietnam and didn't have to serve in the service. So the show uses Septon Ray as a vehicle to show us that's not the world we live in, but how we live in it.
I cut that young boy's throat myself as his mother screamed and my friends held her back. That night, I felt so shame. Shame was so heavy on me, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. All I could do was stare into that dark sky and listen to that mother screaming her son's name.
So clearly, as we can see from this and the previous little cut, they're going with that anti-war theme that we talked about in some of our old videos. So far as we know, Game of Thrones has three major themes that they're trying to push through in most of their episodes. It's feminism, anti-war, and feudalism is bad. So I believe that they wanted to bring back the Hound either way. They needed to do that for both story reasons and for fan service. But they wanted to bring it back in a meaningful way that would add to the season, and this is their way of doing it. It's pretty clear when we watch the show. We sympathize with different characters at different times, and their point of view. Sometimes when it's Tyrion versus Stannis versus Robb Stark, you don't know who you want to back in these armies and situations. But from this point of view, you don't want to back any of them. You want them all to stand down, go back to their homes, and do a proper solution. Because war just tears people's lives apart. And we get to see that with this broken man type character that Septon Ray is. We can see that people get transformed, and it's all a metaphor for the Hound and how he will be transformed and how his life of his dark past and what he's done can be redeemed and he can make a difference.
I know I can never bring that lad back. All I can do with time I've got left is bring a little goodness into the world. That's all any of us can do, isn't it? Never too late to stop robbing people, to stop killing people, start helping people. It's never too late to come back.
It's never too late to come back. All throughout the Hound's arc, we see him over and over proclaim that he can't do things right, he can't do good things because of his dark past, because of his magic, and this makes it super clear that people can come back. In the books, we get this vague little gravedigger theory that's formed out of the Septon who brings him out of the water. It's all pretty much the same situation. Apart from, we don't get introduced to the Hound, we don't really know he's there. We just have Bran pass by, talk to the Septon, and we see a character that is described a lot like the Hound. The whole idea was that he was going to live his life and come back as a different redeemed character, as this quiet monk-type person amongst his peaceful community, digging up graves all day, repenting for himself and adding to the world instead of robbing and murdering people.
It's not about waiting for the gods to answer your prayers. It's not even about the gods. It's about you. Learning you have to answer your prayers yourself.
Now it's pretty clear so far, whilst Ray was directing his speech at this whole group of people, all of it directly applies to the Hound, and it's pretty much just the show screaming at us, telling us this is exactly how we want the Hound to be, and how his arc will progress forward. Now, even after this speech of non-violence and how you need to redeem yourself and you can stop killing people, the Hound's already thinking about how he's going to kill these people who are riding up, because he knows they're going to endanger him. And it's all about drawing this line in the sand between complete abstain from violence and self-protection and doing the right, just thing and saving people.
No horses, no gold, no steel.
Food then. Protecting the people is hungry work.
I'm sure it is. You're welcome to stay for supper.
Now it's clear that Ray here is trying his best to be fair, kind, but also make sure he holds his ground. He knows that these people aren't going to roll over and let them be, but he's going to stick to his principles either way. And this is the difference between the Hound and him. It's all supposed to be this way up that we're supposed to see as viewers, as this whole difference between we know what Ray is doing is the thing that we want, it's the moral high ground, but then there's also the realism of the Hound and how he must take the moderate action to be able to preserve and defend themselves.
What do you want to do? Fight them? Kill them? It'd be you against all of them. I mean, these people don't know how to fight.
You do,
I'm done with fighting.
even if it's to protect yourself.
As you watch all these clips, it's just more and more of them piling on those same questions about what's the right amount of violence, when do you act, when can you not act, what's the right principles to have, and there's really not an answer. Like, the Hound shrugging his shoulders was the response a lot of people give to this, because it's normally the spur-of-the-moment decision that decides where you're going to go with this. I look at our world, we're so developed and got technology in countries, and yet we still don't know how to do our first strike policies and foreign affairs.
Violence is a disease. You don't cure a disease by spreading it to more people.
You don't cure it by dying either.
Now, I really did like this scene and all of the stuff we got from Septon Ray this episode. It was absolutely incredible. The way they brought up some brilliant questions, they got to their theme roots, they brought back a fan favorite character, and they did it in the right way. The end is what gets me grinding my gears. Apart from all of this up to here it was fantastic. It brought up nice themes. The end kind of reverts it all, and I hope that they execute it really nicely next season. They show how the Hound going the extremist violent position was not the best way to react. Maybe taking them down, arresting them, or killing them could have been appropriate for that situation. But I feel like going forward, this message has to keep continuing and not just be the end of it here when Septon Ray dies. Now the real thing is, what did you guys think about this? Do you think they brought back the Hound in the right way, or should they let them in this kind of peaceful ending they had in the books? Tell me your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. I will definitely read a whole bunch of them, and I might even make another video talking about what you guys think about the Hound and what you thought about the Septon Ray character and what you would hope for next season with his storyline. To be honest, bringing back the Hound could be great for next season. They could be our replacement for Arya no longer being with the peasant people, and that's our point of view we get there. Or it could be guns blazing, going around slaughtering people and doing awesome fan service stuff with Lord Barrick Dondarrion. I guess we just have to wait for season 7, because we're not fucking dying in the inside already.